welcome to Here Our Two Cents. My name is Allie, and today I have a special guest.
Hi, I'm DJ.
This is DJ. And today we are going to be talking about
living
in
Korea. Woo!
So we're doing a life update. You're going to hear my perspective of what's been going on these last 6 months almost,
6 months,
and then how her update of how she feels about living here and what we've been doing.
Yeah, because the way both of our experiences are very different.
Very different.
So I think it would be good for a lot of people to hear kind of like.
Let's start with how we got there, because guys, we travel very differently. Let me tell you. So I came from Florida, and I went to Atlanta, and I stopped in Atlanta and did an overnight.
You did overnight?
Yes. So I got to Atlanta, and it was creepy. You know what's creepy? Being in the airport overnight. No one's there.
Straight up zombie apocalypse vibes.
Straight up, yeah. And I'm like, yo, I need a double tap. Like, I need a double tap. It's just like, no one's here. I literally saw a cutout, the cutout of this like American, not American. It was like a cutout of like an Air Canada flight person. And I literally for like 30 minutes thought that was a real person at one point in the night. Like that, like you get to a point where you're just like
hallucinating.
Like, is that a person?
Nice. What time did you leave Florida?
I honestly don't recall. Let me look at my flight tickets. It was a long journey for me. Okay, I left 2 days prior to my departure for Korea. So that's what I'm saying. Like we needed to be in Korea by the 7th.
You remember that?
Yes. We had to be in Korea by the 7th. I left on the 5th from Florida to Atlanta. I got there late, so it's the 6th. And then I had to stay the night, and I was just in the airport. And then it became the 6th, and then I flew out that like morning, afternoon time or whatever.
From Canada?
From Atlanta to Canada.
Oh. I
flew from Atlanta to Canada in the morning time, and then I got to Canada and went from Canada to Korea. And yeah, so I was kind of delirious with sleep. Like, so that's why, like, me not recalling, like, but it was a long journey for me.
Do you remember like how long like the total like flight time was?
So flight from Canada was,
like not even just like flight from Canada, like overall, like
like me to Atlanta was like an hour, if that. And then from Atlanta to Canada was about, I think, 2.5. So you got 3.5 there, and then from Canada to Korea was 18. So
Canada from Korea is 18. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like 16 or 18.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that's how I got there. How did your trip go? Because guys, I went into economy. Okay, that's how I flew, because my plane ticket from Canada, and everyone's is different, but mine was only $700
from Canada.
From
like
Canada,
total like Atlanta.
No, I used points.
Oh, you had points.
I had points. I was flying American Airlines. I used my points. So all those domestic flights were kind of taken care of.
Yeah.
It was the flight from Canada to Korea that was the most costly at $700, which is a really good deal, because I was like wanting to upgrade my seat going from Canada to Korea, because I wanted that my bags were heavy. So I wanted the extra bag that comes with when you go to first class. Yeah. That's the only reason why I wanted to upgrade. And they were like, yeah, so the total to upgrade will be $2,000. I said, 2,000 what up? USD? Like, no, I'm good. I'll stick with the $700 and pay whatever baggage fee it is for this extra bag. Like, and with the baggage fee, I still was under $1,000. So it was just like, I'm good.
Dang. I heard like airport rumor that like if you try to check in like at that place where you check in your bag, it's like more expensive. But if you try to check like not check in, like upgrade your seat at that place where you check in your bag, it's like more expensive. But if you go to the people who like when you're at like the front, like when you're like at like where the actual airline is, it's supposed to be like cheaper or something like that.
This was all over the phone for me. I was calling him. I'm not going to Canada just to check for flights.
I mean, like, no. Like, what do you think? Try to like upgrade your seat?
Yeah,
or
no, I was
like
all through the phone, like just calling them and asking and trying to get it situated ahead of time.
Yeah.
But they were just like, yeah, no, actually, they were shocked. They were like, you got a flight internationally for $700? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened, but I just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'll find a way to Canada.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about what we're doing, but we knew that our jobs were going to reimburse us for our flight.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just, I was like, okay, I want to make sure I'm under the amount. So
The
that
amount that they
way,
give us.
yeah, that way I'm kind of good or not have to pay anything else out of
Mm-hmm.
pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
how did you get here, DJ? Huh? Let's tell the audience how you got to
How
Korea.
I got to Korea? Well, so I'm from Arizona, so I flew out of Sky Harbor Airport. Not directly, but I went from Sky Harbor to Seattle, which is actually my first time ever being in Seattle.
I've never been that way.
And I actually went first class, not only from Phoenix to Seattle, but I went first class from Seattle to Korea.
When she told me this, I was like, "You what?"
Yeah, I actually realized I don't tell a lot of people that. Like, I think I told like maybe like a handful of people that I went first class. Like, I just feel like it's like not something. Granted, I'm by no means a rich person. I like my
This just splurged, right?
yeah. Well, like, so for me, I had been planning to move to Korea for probably like maybe over 6 years. So maybe a little more than that. But I had been saving up money. Like, I'm gonna come to Korea, and this is how much money I want. And like, I think by like the second year I was planning to come here, I was like, I think I want to buy first class. I want to try coming first class. Like, I saved up all the money I needed, and my first class ticket, if I can remember correctly, I don't know, I think it was $4,389, and that included the first class from from Phoenix to Seattle, which was like maybe like an hour or two. And then also, my bags were really heavy.
Bro, mine, it was a juggling act. Thank you to Jasenia, who came to meet me in Atlanta and helped me reorganize my bags.
Ooh.
That was a real plus. Actually, I didn't stay in the airport all night long. Like, mind you guys, I was delirious. I did meet up with my friend who lived in Georgia, and we hung out for a little bit.
Yeah,
literally drove around because it wasn't enough time for us to drive around, go to her house, let me sleep, and come back.
Yeah.
So it was basically we drove around, try to find an open McDonald's or something, and then we came back to the airport, and that's where I was there like creepily for a couple hours just overnight, until my early flight. But full discretion, to get to Atlanta, I did upgrade and was in first class. But it didn't cost me that much.
How much did it cost you?
I don't know because I used my points. I was just like,
you just had points lined up. And you're just like points.
I had my miles. I was like, yeah, I'll upgrade with that free back. Yes, I'm good. And it was great. I was hoping to still continue, but I didn't go through American Airlines from my other flight, so I couldn't. It couldn't connect like that. So
yeah, so I went first class. So I actually. It's so funny because like you were talking about you being delirious from sleep. I literally was packing until I had to leave for the airport.
Bro, I rearranged my bag so many times.
Yeah.
I think the weight limit was like under 25 kilograms or something like that. Or
I only know pounds.
I literally was just kept going. That scale was my best friend. I was just making sure. And I remember going to Air Canada. He was trying to tell me like, oh, you don't have a bag. Like, you have to check this bag. You pay the baggage fee. And I was like, no, I get 2 bags.
Yeah.
2. And he's like, no. And I'm like, go look. And then he looked. He's like, oh, yeah, you do. And I was like, mind you, he told me I had to rearrange all my stuff. So I'm sitting there in line, like, ready to go just to check my bags. And then he told me to step to the side. And so, like, the line's coming. And, guys, I've been there overnight. Like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't have sleep from the night before. Who could sleep in the airport? I don't know. I mean, a few people were kind of sleeping, but I just couldn't just all the way. Like, I couldn't get into a nice, comfortable sleep.
Girl, I can knock out anywhere. I don't care.
I mean, in public like that, I was just like, my stuff, that on my trip. And then it's like, you're in an airport. I'm just like trying to keep my head on the swivel kind of stuff. Like, and I'm by myself. So I was just like, eh. And then we went, and when we got to Korea, this is not my first time flying internationally. I don't know about you.
It was my second time actually coming to Korea. So I came to Korea in 2019 just for like a summer trip with some friends for 2 weeks. Like, not that. Honestly, also, if you come to Korea and you're wanting to visit, stay longer than 2 weeks if you can, because 2 weeks is not a lot of time. Like, we missed out on so much stuff that we couldn't do because we literally ran out of time.
And depending on where you're coming to, a lot of foreigners are going to try and go to Seoul. You won't leave Seoul for like a week and a half. Just exploring Seoul itself. Like, a lot of people will literally stay
That's
in
where
Seoul.
we were at. We stayed in Seoul.
So, like, you don't even get to see, like, Daegu, Busan, Gimcheon, just the different areas.
I think most people honestly only know Seoul when they think of Korea.
Yeah.
Because if you ask like honestly, my mom wouldn't even know. When I talk to my mom over the phone, it's like, oh yeah, I went to the big city.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
But most people only really know Seoul. But like even like that 2 weeks, I was in Seoul the entire time. I could not explore all of Seoul in
And
two
Seoul
weeks.
is so big.
Seoul is
Do not
huge.
underestimate it. If your intention is to come to Seoul, it is large and it's very diverse. Different vibes in different areas too.
Yeah, for sure.
So like
Hongdae.
Hongdae is like very like
Hongdae is very much the college town
college
because that's where the
town,
college
young
is.
kids.
Yeah, lots of young kids, lots of
lot-
shopping.
shopping, little cute cafes, things like that.
Yeah.
And then you go to like Myeongdong wasn't. It's not as
Myeongdong isn't what it used to be because of the whole
but it's very
Panda
central.
Express that happened.
Yeah, but it's very
It's
central
very
located.
central, though.
So it's like you can just hop on a train and just get to wherever you need to go, or a bus, whatever.
Mhm.
So it just kind of depends on what you're here for. But I know I traveled not to Korea. This is my first time being in Korea for myself.
Yeah.
But I went to Italy and France for internationally. So I had at least that experience of like going through customs and all that kind of stuff. But coming to Korea during this time, bro, we got there, for me, I think we got there at 4:00.
Was it 4:00?
It was 4:00.
What time did I get to Korea? I think I came to Korea at like 2.
So I landed, our flight landed around 4. And then we had to, deplane. We get into this long line where it never moves. And you have to show like for the time of where we are in time, right? We had to show that we've been vaccinated. We had to show that you had a PCR test that was done within 72 hours. This, that, and the third, right? And that was another stressful thing.
Oh my gosh.
I was
that
like,
PCR test?
Yeah, PCR test and making sure you hit that deadline because I'm like thinking like, oh,
I think I got like 3 PCR tests because I was just like, I gotta make sure.
I gotta make sure because like I hit for PCR, like I was traveling 2 days out, like I said. So I had to really make sure by the time I got to Canada, my stuff was still kind of valid by the time I got to Korea.
Dang.
I was just making sure like, I don't want to play with this. But we got through the line. That took a long time.
We were
literally
hours.
And then we got through it, got our stuff.
Yeah, honestly, you did all that stuff before you even got your bags. You have to go through customs. You have to go through the
quarantine stuff, like information of like
why you're here, your visa, and all that other stuff.
And then that took a couple hours. I remember it being around like I think 8 or 9 by the time we got through everything. And then we had to wait for our program. We had to wait for a bus. To come get us. So that was what we were told. Like, we have a specific area. We're gonna get picked up, and then we're gonna be taken to a quarantine hotel. The buses were stuck in traffic, and they were stuck in traffic somewhere in Seoul. We were in Incheon Airport. They were stuck somewhere in Seoul, trying to get to us. It got to a point where they were literally looking for people to be like, if you have one suitcase. Now I don't know who flew to Korea. There were a few of them. There was a few. There was some like 2 guys I saw like literally. But there was a girl too. I was shocked.
She probably had her stuff shipped here or something.
Yeah. But they were like, oh, if you have one bag, like you can take this taxi kind of deal. But then they realized like everyone else has 2 to 3 bags. Like I had 3, and it was a struggle. I will never.
4.
Don't bring 3. Don't bring 4. Bring like 2.
You just attack me?
Just bring 2, okay? You can get majority stuff, I will say, depending on your body type for clothes and ethnicity. There's some stuff that I would say pay attention to bring.
Your skin.
Your skin is important to take care of.
Especially like the first couple of months that you're here in Korea.
Yeah, and then you don't feel overwhelmed because you're trying to figure out what's the Korean version of something I like. You're just kind of like, okay, I have my staples. I can kind of keep it moving. But it took hours for the bus. I didn't get to my quarantine hotel until midnight.
Dang.
It was midnight. And the funny thing was, we were like, when we got there, we all questioned it like, do you think because we arrived the next day, because it's midnight, we're going to have to quarantine an extra day because it's a 14-day quarantine? So we were like all freaking out. There was only like 5 of us left that got to that hotel that late. And we were hungry because we didn't have any food.
Did they give you guys dinner?
So when we arrived at the hotel, they did give us like this like to-go box.
Yeah.
And that was our meal for the first day. We got that and we just went up to our rooms, and then you never saw another human for 14 days. A lot of Zoom calls.
If you're antisocial like me, an introvert, it didn't bother you.
I mean, I was watching a lot of Love Island.
I was drawing.
And Love Island. I attempted the workout for like 2 days, and then I quit. I held a fashion show at one point. Through Zoom.
I remember you guys doing that, and I was like,
I was just the MC.
Like, I'm rewatching Korean volleyball. Don't talk to me.
What else? We did. Some people did Discord.
Yeah, we did Discord calls. Yeah. We tried. I was really banking on like doing Among Us in quarantine, but like we never did it, and I was really sad.
Yeah. So it was an interesting, very interesting experience. And then like because you're stuck in quarantine for 2 weeks, and you're calling family, you're trying. It took me a minute to get adjusted. When I tell you, when 3 o'clock in Korean time hit, I was knocked out for the longest time. And then I woke up and it's like 8 p.m. and it's like at home there's like a 12-hour difference. So it's like
Yeah.
my body was just, it was taking a week and a half for me to kick it and like actually follow a schedule.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I would take in that afternoon naps. That's when the whole I was gonna try and work out to stay awake thing.
No, I definitely took like afternoon naps, but like I was very like well adjusted. So for me, I think I got to my hotel around maybe like 8 p.m.
Oh,
And
okay.
I got to Korea
Like
at
two,
2,
yeah.
2:30
Yeah,
or 3 or something like that.
it was
And like after going through like customs and all that other stuff, like we had to wait for our bus because like the same thing. Like they're like, oh yeah, you have to, like at first when we were coming, they were like, oh yeah, you have to take a taxi, like to make sure you have money for a taxi. And then they like looked at everybody and all their baggage. They're like, oh no.
yeah.
Like,
Well, for us, they were just
so
like, make sure you take our bus. Like, don't just go on any bus or any
yeah,
transportation.
yeah. No, like we had
So
like
yeah,
a the big like huge buses.
I don't know what happened, but the bus that we went on was the party bus. It was a hilarious thing.
Yeah, I didn't get a party bus. I
We
just got a
got a
regular
party
bus.
bus. It was a big bus, but it was a party because there was like in the back, it was like a table, and then like we all like sat around, and we're just like, I don't know if they
Dude, I
were
did not talk
like,
to anybody. I was like sleep on that bus. I was like, don't talk to me.
I don't know at this point. Well, we were all like solidarily like, hey, we're all leaving at midnight. Let's, we were all in communication to make sure everyone got on this bus. We're like,
Yeah.
hold up, because we knew this was the last
Yeah.
transportation. Like we need to make sure everyone who was kind of in this area waiting, like make sure they got on.
Yeah.
But it was just like, bruh, this is not even a standard bus. It's a party bus.
No. So what brought you to Korea? Why'd you come here?
So during the whole
Panda Express.
Yeah, Panda Express.
Panorama.
I just got
Polaroid pictures.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like my family is very much into education. So it's always been something that I wanted to do, but just fell in love with hospitality at the time, and it just felt like, okay, well, why not do it? Like I did my research. I had friends actually who are here, and I really like leaned on my friends. I want to thank them for their time, like Sydney and Omar. Like, thank you guys for your time and the experience of telling me, like, how you felt about being in Korea, what it was like for you, things like that. So I took their experiences, I did my research, and then I was like, like, I really want to push myself. I want to challenge myself. I want to expose myself to different cultures. Florida has a lot of different cultures. Same thing with like in Arizona. We have Caribbean culture heavily in Florida when it comes to that.
For Arizona, it's mostly Mexican culture because we're a border state.
I just wanted something different, something new, something that would challenge me, and that's really it. Like I didn't know a lot about Korea. I actually started getting into K-pop, and I can say getting into K-pop meaning like I started listening to music. I don't know everything about them, right? But when the Netflix documentary of Blackpink came out, that's how I got my introduction, and that's when I started like, oh, this is cool. Like I like this music. Like, what is this? Who are they? Like, okay. And then I started just randomly picking up things, and like people were like, oh, you need to watch K-dramas if you're you got into music. And I was like, oh, brain overload. Like, hold up, I'm still processing here. Yeah. But for me, it was just kind of like I wanted to push myself, and I wanted to see something else and expose myself to another culture. And yeah, so that's really it. What about you? Why did you come to Korea? I know from your history, but explain it to them.
So I had been very into Asian culture since I was like a child.
Yeah.
So like I grew up watching like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z with my sister.
Yeah.
And
same.
like Naruto. I was into all that. So like naturally, like I just went from like listening to like Japanese. I was like also into like Japanese music, so like the openings and stuff. From
I
anime.
love anime's openings. I'm like, yeah.
So they're really good. So like I just went from like listening to like the openings and stuff from like animes, and like I didn't realize at the time I was like maybe like 12 or something. I actually went from listening to like Japanese songs to listening to Korean songs on accident. So like I don't like have any like recollection of like liking K-pop like way back then, but like when I got to like my freshman year of college, I like suddenly got into BTS, which most people get into. It was like the first K-pop group that they listened to.
Because I didn't know anything about it. Yeah, I think I was the only person that just was like, I knew it once I heard butter. It's like, oh,
Butter.
it's like smooth nut. I was like, oh, okay. I hear that so often, and now I know.
Yeah.
But like, they were like, "Are you in the army?" I got asked that so many times in the line. "Are you in the army?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Like, I'm a teacher.
I'm
What
a
do you mean?
yeah, I'm like, I'm a teacher.
I've never joined the army.
And then someone's like, "No, army like BTS." I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah. Army, for those who don't know, was like BTS is like fan base name. But like I got into BTS, but then like I got exposed to like other K-pop groups. I became really more interested in the culture. So I wanted to take education in college,
Mhm.
but I was going into bilingual education, so teaching students who are their first language is not English.
Yeah.
So I had to take a second language class, and I was like, it's either Japanese. I was like, Japanese. I want to do Japanese.
That is some tough. That's so tough.
Japanese has 3 alphabets. Fun fact.
I know it's 3 alphabets, and it's no.
So Japanese had 3 alphabets, and then Chinese. It just seemed so daunting to me at the time.
Mhm.
And then I actually found out after doing some research that Korean has like the easiest alphabet to learn. And it's pretty like systematic and scientific. So I took Korean, and then I was like, oh, this is like pretty fun. So I actually took a Korean certificate, and
Mhm.
I took like Korean history, Korean literature. What's the thing called? Linguistics. I took all that women of Korean classes. So like, I became more and more interested in the culture, and I was like, I definitely could move here.
Yeah.
So that trip that I took when I came here for 2 weeks was actually my test to see if I could live in Korea.
Okay.
So then I took that, and I was like, I'll just live here forever. It's fine.
Yeah. So I started applying to like different programs, things like that, for going abroad.
Yeah.
During that time, I knew my mindset I was going to go abroad, and I did, a few countries I was looking into, and then I applied for Korea. And then at that time, like, I got brought back onto work at one point, and then like a whole bunch of stuff just hit, and I was just like, well, I'll hear back when I hear back. Like, who knows? This might not be a thing. For like, I did some training to make sure I was, prepared to teach abroad. I was trying to just like, all right, let's make sure, I'm doing the stuff I need to do. But also during that time, I kept looking up the different areas of Korea, like what to expect. Especially, I was looking up rural because I didn't even think. I was looking up some of the cities, but I was like, I'm a first time. I don't know if I'll get a city.
Usually anytime, like I said, some people who come to Korea, not that I'm putting anybody down or anything like that. Definitely if you want to come to Korea, like if that's your hopes and dreams. But like a lot of people, like they don't do research, and then they come to Korea, be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna apply to this program, and I'm just gonna go to Seoul. And I'm like, screw it. Everybody and their mom wants to go to Seoul, okay?
I actually think I was one of the ones that did not. I did not want Seoul.
I would not want Seoul either.
Not want. Oh, I was just like, no, anywhere. It was funny because at the time my recruiter was like, oh, you don't. I was like, no, I don't. No, I really don't.
I
like,
think,
oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure one of the places I put was Gyeonggi-do, which is actually an hour outside of Seoul.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, because all my friends live
over there.
Yeah, in that area. So I was just like, I want to be close to my friends at least. Like, I don't care where.
Yeah. And the same thing, like where I asked for was kind of close to another friend. So I was hoping to kind of get there. It's always good to see a friendly face, right?
Yeah. Especially when you come into a country, no one looks like you.
Yes.
Especially coming from us too.
Oh my God.
2 African American girls who come to Korea and no one looks like you.
Yeah. That was an interesting experience because I actually researched that. That was one of the things I want to know, like, as an African American, how will it be going to another country? Like going to Korea specifically. I wanted to see what the treatments and thoughts and things like that to make sure, like, hey, I'm putting myself in a comfortable environment for me to feel safe, right? Not like saying I'm uncomfortable. I can be around all different kinds of folks. It doesn't matter to me, but just make sure it's a comfortable environment for myself.
Yeah.
And one of the things was just like, oh, you get stares at, you'll get this or that. And I was just like, okay, like I'm probably, for some people, I might be the first, second, third Black person they might have already, seen.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Like if you're just like, oh, like everyone here has been super friendly. All the Korean people are so friendly. I've had so much help, and I personally don't know Korean. I'm learning the alphabet, guys, but I don't know much. Okay. I know how to say thank you, how to say hello, somewhat say bye, because there's 2 different byes in Korean.
There's 2 different byes in Korean. Should we do a mini Korean lesson right now?
Nope. I'm not gonna have that on the record.
You not being able to speak Korean.
안녕하세요. So there's a hello. But coming from that perspective, like people here have been so kind and so patient. And I've been using you kind of use like context clues when people are talking to you. For me, at least, I'm using context clues, and I'm using my lovely phone, like just being like
Papa
Papa
Go.
Go. If you guys are coming to Korea,
Download Papa Go.
download Papa Go. It will be your friend. The next app, we can go into this. The next apps that you probably want coming to Korea: Naver, Kakao Talk, Kakao Taxi.
Yeah, not like the Naver browsing website, but like Naver Maps.
Naver Maps, yeah.
And like also, well, if you kind of know Korean, you can get like the Naver dictionary. That way, like if you're like looking for something, like I know sometimes I'll be like in this grocery store, like trying to buy something, I'm like, what is this again? And like I have to like put Naver dictionary real quick.
Yeah. So, and then if you're trying to learn the language, some people download Hello Talk. That's very popular if you're trying to come here like long term,
and you're like trying to learn
yeah,
language.
and
But
trying to learn language.
Also, if you're in the US and you want to learn Korean, Hello Talk also a good way because like you just talk to native Korean speakers, but it's mostly through text. Some of them want to do phone calls, and I don't have my Korean is like talking is not so much the problem; it's the listening for me. When Koreans talk, I just like also like with any language, like it's very much like all the words are run together, and I cannot dictate what words are what. And also, there's just like so many like endings that they use in Korean that mean different things. So it's just like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And when you give them the look of like, I don't know what you're saying, and then like they're like, oh, you don't understand me.
Sometimes people will have full blown conversations with me, and I'm just going, nah, nah.
Ali will literally go, 안녕하세yo, and they'll be like, where are you from? Like, blah, blah, blah. In Korean, she'll be like, 네, 맞아요. As one of our friends says.
Yeah.
네, 맞아요.
But definitely, if you guys are here, they don't really text here. It's more through Kakao Talk, and you'll hear people ask for like your Kakao ID and things like that. That is definitely an app if you're wanting to like communicate with Koreans or other foreigners who are living here. You're gonna want to download that app.
Kakao Talk,
yeah, Kakao Talk. It's very popular here. It's kind of, I wouldn't even say it's like Facebook Messenger.
No. It's just like it's like a texting app.
It's a texting app,
like Line or WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone in Korea, like you don't need, like no one uses like the texting service on their phone.
I literally when I text some of my Korean teachers, they're just like they respond, but they're probably like, "Girl, no one else text me. Who is this?"
Well, because like Kakao Talk is connected to like your all phone. Your information, so it's just like. Which is so funny because I went to the post office the other day and he was like, "Oh, do you want a receipt?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Okay, have a great day." And I was like, "Huh?"
And you're like,
and then I realized that because I put my phone number on the package, because like in Korea you put your phone number on the package.
You put your phone number on everything.
Well, yeah, but so I put my number on the package, and he's like, "Okay, have a good day." And I was like, "Where's my receipt?" And I was just like, "Okay, bye." Yeah, because like, and for me in Korea, like I just like sometimes I'm just like, "Oh, okay, bye," like whatever. Yeah. And then like I got like a text like 30 minutes later, and it was like, "Here's your tracking number for your package," but it was through Kakao. It wasn't like a text message.
Oh, okay.
So like they just, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. So those are definitely some apps. Coupon will be your friend if you're living here.
If you're living here,
Coupon.
But you have to wait till you get your ARC first to get Coupon.
I don't even know how to talk about how to get your ARC.
Well, your ARC, you will go with your co-teacher or someone who's in charge of you in your school. And they will take you to go get your ARC. I do not know how to do it like personally because like my co-teacher did all the talking for me. Even though like I kind of speak Korean, but like not enough to like be like, hey.
Your ARC is basically for people in the US is like your driver's license. Like you need that
to do anything. Honestly, you need so like when you get your ARC, you need to connect it to your cell phone. I'm still on a prepaid cell phone plan. I have not changed it yet.
Oh yeah, I'm on a 2-year contract.
You got a 2-year contract for your phone?
I think it's a 2-year contract. When we discussed a year, but I'm pretty sure because it's standard, it's 2. But there's a communication barrier. So I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, you know what? We'll just risk it for the biscuit. Girl. If I have to cancel, I'll have to cancel.
I think there's like a fee if you have to cancel.
Yeah, but like it is what it is. It was just a right price and the service. So like it had all the stuff I wanted. I wanted unlimited data and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I wasn't like too upset about it. I'm still paying my US phone, so I'm just spending on my phone. That's the highest bill. Oops. Is my phone. Yeah. What has been a shock when it comes to bills for you and like taking care of like stuff in Korea?
The biggest shock I think for me, like taking care of bills, it's not too hard for me.
It's super easy.
That was so easy.
I was like, why can't everyone be like this? Like you literally just transfer money from your phone. For at least for me, it's like a transfer from my phone to an account and I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to go into my bank account and send them the amount, and it's taken care of.
Oh, so like for me, my like electricity bill comes through my email, and then I like go through like the little like description of like what they charge me and stuff, and like there's like a little section that's like, oh, pay. But
Mhm.
granted, it's all in Korean, so
Ah.
so I just like I just go through it and I just pay my bill, and
Ah.
it's really easy. You know what's really shocking to me that I did not have in the US, but I have in Korea? So your card, like in America, like if you want to buy something, you have to put in like your card, like if you're shopping on Amazon or like you're shopping on like a store or some website or something like that.
Yeah.
But in Korea, if you have your bank, there's an app for your card. And when you go to check out, you just use the app and you don't have to put in your credit card. So like
What app is?
for NH Bank, when you go to
Oh
check
yeah, yeah.
out,
I
it's
haven't
just the
set up any of
app.
that stuff. I know what you're talking about. I haven't set up any.
Oh, okay. Well, I have it set up, and
Okay,
it's
you have
literally
to show
just
me.
it's just an app that you have set up, and like when you go to check out anything, like I pay my bills, I can
Yeah.
like shop, like anything that I do, even Peta Mean Joke is one of the like delivery apps for food. So even for like the delivery app, it's just like I don't put in my credit card every time. I just put it. I go through the app, and it just pays it
Okay, okay.
automatically. It's so
Oh,
cool.
that is
It's
cool.
so easy. That was like the biggest shocker for me. It's so easy.
I'll have to have you help me set it up. Because I only use coupon for like everything.
But if you use coupon,
Well,
actually your
my
cards
card,
your
yeah, my
cards on
card's for
coupon.
coupon. So, how many schools do you have?
I have one school. So for us, for our contract, we have to teach 22 hours,
Hmm.
but we have to be at the school for 8 hours a day, which is standard. I mean, like I was a teacher back in the US and it was like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have one school, but I have enough classes to cover my 22 hours.
And what's your grade level?
I teach first and second grade middle school. So
Yeah.
here in Korea, first and second grade is like repeated. Cause like you know how like in America we go from first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and when you get to
Yeah,
middle
yeah,
school, it's sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade.
yeah.
But here it's actually first grade through sixth grade is elementary school, and then first grade to third grade is middle school, and then first grade
First
to
and
third
third
grade
grade is
is high
high
school.
school. So, like your third grade in each is like your senior.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like
yeah.
in high school, third grades like they're graduating to go to university maybe or whatever,
Yeah.
and then in middle school, third grades they're gonna graduate to go to high school.
Yeah.
For me, I have 5 schools.
I'm so
And
happy I'm not you.
I have 5 schools, both elementary and middle school. So I have the young little ones, and then I have the old ones as well. And the same thing, like same kind of teaching hours. I go to school, each school like each day
Mhm.
for me. So Monday will be my Monday school, Tuesday will be my Tuesday school, so on
Every
and so
day you
forth.
go to a different school.
Yeah, every day I go to a different school.
Every day I go to the same school.
Yeah, that was. But one of the things that I loved about like my schools is everyone's been very, very welcoming and very, very kind. And if I have a question, it doesn't feel like I'm bothering them or anything.
Yeah.
They're very open to like answer any concerns I have or anything like that.
Mhm.
And man, some of my teachers are they remember stuff so much. Like
Koreans have such good memory.
I mentioned that I don't drink coffee, right? When I first met my co-teacher, and literally she got me this like hot chocolate box. So like in school I could have some hot
Oh,
chocolate
that's
while
so cute.
the teachers like hot chocolate packets
Yeah,
while
yeah,
the
yeah,
teachers
yeah.
had like coffee.
That's cute.
And then like the teacher that does the special need kids, she kept buying like little boxes of hot chocolate. And then she's like, Allie, I got hot chocolate for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love that. That's so adorable.
Yeah, so it's just like they're very, very kind and very, very thoughtful people here. At least the ones that I interact with.
Yeah, same
And
for me. Mine are very thoughtful and
yeah,
kind.
there's also been adjustments, but that's just like any new job,
Any
new
new
life change.
Yeah.
I mean, literally moving to a country, there's going to be some adjusting and things like that. But I've really enjoyed my time here so far. Even with everything that's going on in the world, like I still get to have this experience with my friends and meet people.
I'm not your friend. I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
dang.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We're not only just chilling in your house, but okay.
Well, that's another thing we can talk about. You want to talk about our housing arrangements?
Yeah, so housing. I didn't have much of a choice, okay?
You don't
So
get much of a choice.
for mine, it was literally we get there, we went to some schools, and then immediately it was like, okay, here's a house, we have some housing for you. Because at first they were telling me I might have to stay like a hotel or something because they weren't sure if they were gonna have a house for me, like an apartment for me. All of a sudden, then I had an apartment. After school, we went and I looked around my building. I have a 1 bedroom, as you would say in America, like a 1 bedroom apartment. So I have a bedroom, I have my living room area, and then I have a kitchen, which is like, if you guys, watch anime, it's basically how it is in animes, where it's like the left side has your little 2 stovetop burners, your sink, and the little section that you can like chop or do anything with, and that's
Yeah.
it. Like that, and then some cabinets above, and
Yep.
that is my kitchen, and then my bathroom that
Is
I
your
have.
like very Koreanized, like with is your shower attached to your sink?
Yes, my shower is attached to the sink. It is what, a Korean wet room? Right? It's like a wet.
Wet room?
Wet, is that the correct term?
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea. Hwajeongsu bathroom.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an adjusting because, like, bro, you live in Korea when you go to the sink and you turn the faucet on, and if you have the shower on, you just get hit with the shower head. You're like, oh shoot, no.
Have you done that?
Yes. I'm like, oh shoot, no, turn the knob. All right, good, sink now. Like wash my hands,
Yeah.
and then
Just like face full of water.
it just like
So
hits you, and they're like, no.
gotta change clothes now.
Yeah.
Eek.
Usually I have good reflexes. I'm just like, but like it still gets you, but like it's not like I'm drenched.
Yeah. How would you compare your size of your apartment? What would you say?
It's definitely like for one person. Luckily, okay, so everyone's beds are typically from like other friends. They're smaller. I lucked out. I have a queen bed.
Ooh.
My bed is pretty. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
If I had like friends over, like literally all I have is a bed. I don't have much when it comes to like
like
I don't have a
furniture.
couch, so I don't have a couch. I have one chair
that you use at your desk, right?
Yeah, I use at my desk. Like it's like a nice like gamer looking kind of chair. Like it's a
Yeah.
comfortable chair. It was given to me. So for us, like in our apartments, you're guaranteed a desk, a chair, a refrigerator,
A TV,
bed, a bed, and a
washing machine.
Is a microwave also?
I'm not sure about microwave.
Okay. And yeah, and a washing machine. So those are the standard things that have to be in your apartment.
Yeah.
So I had all those things from the guy I took his apartment
Yeah,
from.
yeah, that you got, the guy you replaced.
The guy I replaced. So she got basically a big old palace.
Yeah, we're basically filming in my apartment. But my apartment is a loft apartment.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's called a one room in Korean. Literally one room is what I think it's called. So I have like a large living room area. I do have a couch. I have a desk, TV, bookshelf, stuff like that. Usually like the space
She has
right here.
very high ceilings.
Yeah, high ceilings. So
very high. Like it's way up there.
Yeah.
That's something where I was like, dang, man, it really is big.
Yeah, and then like I have a loft area where my bed is. I use it for storage because I don't like sleeping up there because it's just a hassle because like
you have to bend down.
You have to also like it's not as tall as you, the loft area. You have to like crunch over. I'm only 5'3". So like I have to like hunch over when I go in there and like get to my bed.
Yeah.
It's just like not comfortable up there. I really don't like it. And then also like if I like sometimes I have to get up and pee in the middle of the night.
Then you just
and I have to come down those like the stairs that go up to the loft are really steep for some reason.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to do that. Like what if I get thirsty? Like it's very inconvenient to me.
Literally yesterday I was like, hey, can you give me water?
Yeah, she spent the night at my house yesterday and she was like, DJ, can you give me some water? And I was like on the couch like, what?
Then you understood, then it clicked.
Like you asked me for water. But like it's just very inconvenient for me. So I don't sleep up there where the bed actually is. I actually sleep on my couch, which I don't mind. I love sleeping on my couch.
How your housing is, it's really, for the most part, they're all kind of similar. I mean, it's not like the quality of your house.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's not like a drastic change. Like some of my friends they just lucked out and got brand new buildings that like came in.
But I know in America it's kind of like a red flag. Like you don't really want a new building sometimes. Yeah. But
you gotta be. I would say for advice for anyone who is moving here, you gotta be creative with storage and like how you put things. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have, a storage area, a closet of some kind, like a wardrobe or whatever. At least and I don't have anything of that nature. So I got clothing racks, and it's fine. I hang up my clothes. But like simple things that you would think like, oh, where am I going to put my coat? Because I don't have or, where am I going to put this item, So you got to be a little bit creative with how you set up your apartment.
Yeah, when you come to Korea,
when you first move,
don't really expect anything to be like it is in the US because like your apartment may not have a closet. Your stove is not as big. All Korean apartments don't have ovens.
Yeah, there's no ovens.
So like a lot of people come here from like America or the UK.
Which I knew there wasn't gonna be an oven.
Yeah.
And I don't cook like that.
Yeah, but like I cook sometimes and I'm like, man, I don't have an oven. I can't make mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like there's some things where I'm like, I want to make cookies and I'm like, dang it.
Dude,
man.
The other day I was like, man, I kinda want some dressing. And I was like, can't make that unless I like put it in the air fryer somehow.
Literally, yeah, I was like, I need an air fryer. So that's the one thing. Get an air fryer, guys.
Yeah, an air fryer is a really good thing. I mean, they have like mini ovens, like toaster
Yeah.
ovens and stuff.
Yeah.
That you can use, but like just don't come expecting like everything to be like it is in America, because it's not.
Yeah.
And I think if you do come with that kind of mindset, it's gonna be really difficult for you to adjust here.
You just have to have an open mind, and
very open,
and you'll be okay. It's not like it's drastically different than like once you get in your rhythm. I think it's at first overwhelming because you're getting hit with all this new information and all you're trying to adjust, and then the language barrier and this and that. But people here are so kind and so patient that like literally take one day at a time, I say.
Yeah, for sure. That's like my biggest motto. My grandma made me like drill that into my head. Like just take things one day at a time. It took me a really long time before I even set up my Switch because I just wasn't comfortable yet. Like I hadn't played Animal Crossing. Like I hadn't drawn.
You'll get your own routine and you'll start to feel comfortable.
Yeah. So like after you get that like routine and you start to feel comfortable and stuff, and you get like your furniture. If you replace furniture like I did, because the girl before me was disgusting. That could be a whole podcast on itself, bro. She was gross. She was nasty, mate. She was nasty. So like I replaced all the stuff that was in here from her. So like once I finally got like comfortable and like I got a little bit more into like it's like DJ's house. Then I was like, okay, like I can set my Switch, I can play Animal Crossing. I can like I can start drawing and stuff like that. I think definitely just gotta get your own feng shui, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah. The one thing I do love about being here, and I don't have a vehicle here. Some people, it's very rare for people to have a vehicle if you're
a
foreigner. Like not rare, but I'm like a small number, I guess I would say.
A minority of people.
Yeah,
a minority of foreigners who come
like
here
literally
have cars.
In our friend group, we only have one person that has a car.
Yeah. Wait, which friend group?
Our intake.
Our intake. Okay.
Yeah.
I only know one person has a car.
So when you come here, me coming from Florida, public transportation is trash.
Same in Arizona.
So trash. Coming here, the one thing I love was like the ease of transportation. It's a struggle, right? Because I don't know the language for me to like figure it out.
Not being able to read
it, but like having the app, like the bus apps, and having like Naver Maps. Yeah. Naver Maps will tell you like you need to take this bus to get on this, and then you get off at this place, and then you take this bus or you take this train, and it explains it for you.
And also it follows you, so it's like kind of like Google Maps, so like you can see like when your stop is coming up at, even if you don't understand. It like tells you like where. And, I mean, I've even missed stops, and I speak and listen. I can hear Korean. I'm like, what? That was my stop.
Yeah, and transportation here is so efficient. It's great. The buses are great, and the trains are great. Subways are great, and don't feel overwhelmed by it because it's like I don't know much Korean, and I can get around fine.
Yeah. It's so mad easy.
Yeah. So that's one thing I was like, kind of like, is this like people just hype it up like, oh yeah, it's easy, and then you do it, and it's like it's not easy, but no, it really is actually pretty
so
easy. And I literally will be like on Papago if I don't know, is this the right? Okay, thank you.
You know what? The one good thing about Papago that I really do like, same with Google Translate. Like if you can take a picture of something, and then now it translates for you right then and there. Especially like if like for you, I don't know if you use it like when you go to like the bus terminal or something like that, and you're like, I don't know which bus to take.
Yeah, I literally sometimes the lady knows what buses I take sometimes, and she'll just be like, ticket. I'm like, oh no, not that one. A different one. Transportation is really easy here. It's not necessarily you need to have a car.
Yeah, no.
You can easily just go around.
For sure. I think like the latest bus stops starting at like 11:30, depending on what city you're in.
Taxis are pretty cheap here, in my opinion.
Compared to like the US.
Yes. Compared to the US, is very, very cheap.
Dude, getting into a taxi, I look at like some of like the little fees and stuff like in Arizona. Like getting into the taxi is $10 itself.
To get into it?
Yeah, there's like when you get into the taxi, you charge a fee.
Yeah, Uber it is.
Uber, that's why like most people like did Uber or Lyft, but like even so like I feel like that was pretty expensive. I remember once I had to take an Uber to college, and like my college wasn't that far away, and it was like I could have just walked, but I live in Arizona. I'm not walking. It's hot.
What else can we talk about with being in Korea?
What would be like? What's your favorite memory so far when you came to Korea, or like being here in Korea?
Favorite memory?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have to say, even though it's very, very simple, the time we were in orientation.
Oh yeah,
because it was the first time of freedom. Okay. We finally got to interact with people, and like mind you, for 2 weeks we either been Zoom calling,
Discord,
just everything being online and interacting. So finally get to like meeting everyone, and then we're sharing classes and then meeting new folks from like different provinces. It was really really cool. So like that time of like you felt like back in college. Like I literally
Yeah,
had like
it
it
felt
felt like I was in the university because like we're our orientation was held at a
at a
Korean university,
university.
and
It was
so
so pretty.
it was so pretty. And
And also, we were sleeping in dorms. I think we were at
yeah,
orientation for a week, and we
yeah,
were sleeping like in like the college dorms.
and they felt like college
They
dorms.
felt like college dorms, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
it was a flashback. Well, not even.
I
I
never
did the dorm
slept in.
life.
I never
I
did
did the
dorm
dorm
life.
life,
I
and
didn't do dorm life. I just heard of
it
it.
was fine. It was great. Not great. It was fine.
Yeah, but because of it was Polar Express.
Yeah, we could not have roommates.
Yeah, we did. We were like in the room by ourselves, which was
Yeah,
also great because
yeah.
it's like I don't want to share a room with random people,
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah. So we all got there, and then it was like you had to go to your classes, and after your classes, you can kind of just
You
do
literally had
whatever.
like a class schedule. It was so
Yeah, we had a
funny.
class schedule. You had to go to your classes, and then after that, you would go to do whatever until like what was it, 8 or 9 o'clock? We
Yeah.
had to come back for curfew. No, it was 10 o'clock.
It was 10 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah,
But
10
like
o'clock.
after like 5 o'clock or something, you had like free time.
Yeah,
Or after your
and we
classes.
had our breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, they gave us breakfast, lunch, and dinner while we were
over there.
Yeah,
So that was probably like so far my favorite. I mean, besides like the trips I've been able to take, like that
Yeah.
moment in time was just I think really really cool because we really just got to get to know each other and just hang out. There was no like, oh my god, lesson planning this and lesson
Yeah.
and this and that. Like it was just kind of like you're just in that moment.
Yeah.
What about for you?
My favorite like moment in Korea. Dang, I don't even know if I could think of one. Like orientation, yeah, was like awesome.
Yeah.
Like that was it. Like orientation was lit, bro. It was so lit.
You just think about everyone just being like so excited to be in Korea, and just like that was the first time we got to literally see Korean like landscape, like any like and breathe in Korean air and like walk.
It was like that. It was like that. We're in Korea, guys.
Yeah, like oh my god. So that was good, but like one of my favorite cities so far that I've seen has to be Busan. Busan for me is great. It has that city element, but then it has the beach right there. Great food, good vibes.
Yeah.
So that so far has been my favorite city that I visited. That I would probably want to go to again, just to like.
You know what? I found out my favorite moment.
Oh, okay.
My favorite moment was when we went with Ray and like our little group, and we went to Chuncheon.
Oh,
we had
yeah.
We had takalbi. We went to Nami Island, even though like it was kind of rushed and stuff like that. It was still super fun. Like
yeah, that was good fun.
We played video games together, and like that was like really like fun. Also, just hanging out with Ray is just really fun.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
Yeah, that was a cool moment too.
Yeah, I think also New Year's was like my favorite too because it was just like very chill. Very,
yeah,
like,
we did sparklers on the.
Yeah, we did. I did. That was my first time doing sparklers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think I never did it in Arizona. Like we had like fireworks and stuff. But, like I never did like sparklers.
Yeah, so New Year's we did sparklers on a bridge. It was nice and pretty.
But obviously, there's more adventures to come.
Oh yeah.
Like next week. Or actually tomorrow, we're going to Pohang.
We're going to Pohang.
And then after that, we're going to Gyeongju just to see some new spots in Korea. Because I've only seen a couple of cities. I haven't been over, like, all over the place like some people have.
What about the food adjustments? You already been to Korea, so do you have any, like, food stories or things where you're like, oh, man, I kind of have to adjust to?
Not really.
Because you've been here before, right?
Not even just, like, I've been here before, but I love Asian food. And, like, back in Arizona, I was always eating Korean food. So, like, I came here and I was like,
Literally, guys, I think the week or so before I left was like, I had Korean barbecue in the States. And that was my first experience with any Korean food. Like I ate Asian food a lot, but it's mostly like either Chinese or Japanese food. Korean, like I know they had different spices and things that they use. Yeah. So for me, it was like coming here. I'm a picky eater.
She's really picky. Bro.
I am a picky eater, and I'm fine here. I will eat.
I would say it's hard if you're like a vegetarian or
vegan. If you're a vegetarian, it can be difficult. And vegan, I don't know how. That is really
that is not something I think about. So.
Yeah, vegetarians, like you would just have to be very mindful
of like what you're ordering.
And
I would say if you're a vegetarian, you need to learn Korean.
You need to like tell them like, hey, does it have this? Does it have that? But like for me, like I just find like my staples, just like in anything, and I just will expand upon them. Yeah, and just kind of go slowly. Like there's sometimes where I'm at lunch and I'm eating stuff I don't even know the names of. I won't even say sometimes. That's majority of the time. I'm eating stuff that I don't know the names of. And then later on, like someone goes, "Oh, have you had this?" And I'm like, "No." And then like we have it for dinner, going out somewhere. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I have had that." Like it tastes great, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the name.
Allie actually usually is just like every time I call her, she calls me. She's like, "Yeah, I just came from picking up chicken." I'm like, "Girl, again?" Because chicken here
Fried chicken,
is so good, but like I eat like a vast majority of things if when I can get my hands on it. The only thing like I would say is like I'm
Be
very
careful about gaining weight here because food is very easy to come to you, like delivery.
oh yeah.
Like you will, once you find the delivery apps in your favor, the odds are not in your favor when it comes to your waistline. So be careful.
I mean, like I use my delivery app, but I feel like I feel like I haven't gained weight. Definitely, like
I
all
feel
my
like
family,
I feel
all
like
my
I'm pretty
family
standard, same weight, but
is
like
like, "Oh my god, you lost weight."
I can understand like how you can
Yeah,
easily
for sure,
gain weight.
Especially if you feel like you don't leave the house that often.
Yeah, but you walk around a lot, so I feel like whatever I'm ordering, I'm gonna burn off eventually.
Yeah, dude. I will have lunch at the school, and I'll be like in class, and I'm like, man, I'm hungry again.
Yeah. At school, one of the things that was surprising to me was like after they eat, they were like, "Oh, Allie, you want to go on for a walk?" And I'm like, "Now?" I was like, I'm sitting there like, when you get in the food coma, you're just like,
But that's like the best to take a walk.
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
get a food coma.
yeah. So then I was just like, all right, I got like 20 more minutes until like the next period. I can just kind of relax. And then it's like, oh, let's walk. I'm like, okay, let's go bonding. Let's go walking. And then so we'll walk. And I'm just like, I realized at each school, like all the teachers walk.
Yeah,
And that was the thing. I was
very
like, oh,
Korean
okay.
thing to do.
Yeah.
It's also just good to like walk off your
Yeah.
food.
So I mean, it was great to kind of just chat with them and in a non like formal setting. Cause like sometimes some teachers, you can tell they want to speak to you, but they feel like intimidated
or, like,
by
nervous
speaking English. Cause a lot of teachers, they start off with like, oh, I don't speak English well. And then like I hear them and I'm like, you're good. Keep talking, like you're fine, like I can understand you. Or if they don't know the
that's
word,
also like when I'm like when someone's like, oh, like I'll like order something or like I'll ask for something in Korean and they're like, oh my god, your Korean's so good, blah blah blah. I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yeah. I just like I honestly encourage them. Any last thoughts for living in Korea? Anything to update? Are you thinking of staying here for a couple years?
I'll probably be here for the rest of my life.
The rest of your life. For me, I want to be here for a few years. Things may change depending on how, life goes. But my goal, my mindset at this time is a few years here in Korea.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're both got in like rural towns. So living there, it's
very different from living in the city, but it's also like eye-opening.
Yeah. And it's not even like some people are like, oh, I can never live rural. It's not that bad. It's not like there's some small things that aren't as convenient.
Yeah.
But
it's not like what you're
it's not
used
a deal breaker. Or anything like that. So if you are thinking of coming rural, like it's definitely a nice slow pace here.
I would definitely say like if you're coming to apply to Korea and you want to go to like Seoul, you want to go you want to be in a big city, it's definitely okay to be in a small town because you will get this not the same experience, but it's definitely a lot easier to adjust your life, especially when you're not in like a fast-paced city like Seoul.
Yeah.
Also, like the Korean culture is very like pali culture where everything has to be fast. If you live in Seoul, it's gonna be stressful. I feel like because like adjusting is just so hard because everything is so fast, it's so quick. You're gonna feel pressured because like you have to get on the subway, but you don't know what subway you have to get onto, and it's just like it's very very hectic. But I feel like if you're in like a smaller town, you can always travel to Seoul. Like Seoul's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
But like if you're in a smaller town, it's just a lot easier to adjust yourself to because not as fast. It's not as much pressure.
Yeah, it's really like I love the relaxed atmosphere that I've gotten here.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, I love that it's just kind of like okay, more laid back. That's our life update. Cammie is still back at home in the US. I want to say a big thank you to DJ, my special co-host today, and I hope you follow us on Instagram at Here Are 2 Cents. So it's HEAR_our 2 cents. You can follow us on Instagram. You can listen to us anywhere where you listen to your podcast. And I hope you guys are enjoying this episode. If you have any questions about Korea, just send us a message on Instagram and we can answer.
Hit us up.
Yeah. And I'll just send them to DJ if she knows the answer.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll answer what I can.
Yeah.
Don't ask me any history questions. I forgot all the history.
Yeah, if you guys want more like, oh, but how did you learn Korean? I'll just pass those on to
We
DJ.
can do an episode of Allie learning Korean.
Yeah, we could. We have enjoyed our time here in Korea, and we hope that if you guys are thinking about it, you will come over this way And
Do it. Just do it.
just do it. I mean, life is short, so
Yeah.
why not?
Do it. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.